What are the main sampling design approaches? As we mentioned earlier, sampling design is about deciding who you're going to collect your data from, i.e. your sample. There are many sample options, but the two main categories of sampling design are probability sampling and non-probability sampling. Probability sampling means that you use a completely random sample from the group of people you're interested in. This group is called the population. By using a completely random sample, the results of your study will be generalizable to the entire population. In other words, you can expect the same results across the entire group, without having to collect data from the entire group, which is often not possible for large groups. Non-probability sampling, on the other hand, doesn't use a random sample. For example, it might involve using a convenience sample, which means you'd interview or survey people that you have access to, perhaps your friends, family or work colleagues, rather than a truly random sample which might be difficult to achieve due to resource constraints. With non-probability sampling, the results are typically not generalizable. What are the main data collection methods? There are many different options in terms of how you go about collecting data for your study. However, these options can be grouped into the following types: interviews, which can be unstructured, semi-structured, structured, focus groups and group interviews, surveys, online or physical surveys, observations, documents and records, case studies. The choice of which data collection method to use depends on your overall research aims and objectives, as well as practicalities and resource constraints. For example, if your research is exploratory in nature, qualitative methods such as interviews and focus groups would likely be a good fit. Conversely, if your research aims to measure specific variables or test hypotheses, large-scale surveys that produce large volumes of numerical data would likely be a better fit. What are the main data analysis methods? Data analysis methods can be grouped according to whether the research is qualitative or quantitative. Popular data analysis methods in qualitative research include qualitative content analysis, thematic analysis, discourse analysis, narrative analysis, grounded theory, IPA. Qualitative data analysis all begins with data coding, after which one or more analysis technique is applied. Popular data analysis methods in quantitative research include descriptive statistics, e.g. means, medians, modes, inferential statistics, e.g. correlation, regression, structural equation modeling. Again, the choice of which data collection method to use depends on your overall research aims and objectives, as well as practicalities and resource constraints. How do I choose a research methodology? As you've probably picked up by now, your research aims and objectives have a major influence on the research methodology. So, the starting point for developing your research methodology is to take a step back and look at the big picture of your research, before you make methodology decisions. The first question you need to ask yourself is whether your research is exploratory or confirmatory in nature. If your research aims and objectives are primarily exploratory in nature, your research will likely be qualitative, and therefore you might consider qualitative data collection methods, e.g. interviews, and analysis methods, e.g. qualitative content analysis. Conversely, if your research aims and objective are looking to measure or test something, i.e. they're confirmatory, then your research will quite likely be quantitative in nature, and you might consider quantitative data collection methods, e.g. surveys, and analyses, e.g. statistical analysis. Designing your research and working out your methodology is a large topic, which we'll cover in other posts. For now, however, the key takeaway is that you should always start with your research aims and objectives. Every methodology decision will flow from that.